Hi guys, welcome to my skills presentation for this week. This week I'm looking at masking, and based on the feedback I received last week, I'm also going to be revisiting audition, looking at phasing and flanging, and I would say my skill level for this is currently a 2 out of 10. So my aims and objectives for this week were to revisit audition, like I said, and just explore the phasing and flanging, and just try and see if I can improve footage from last week. I then want to go into transitions and kind of develop an understanding of industry examples of masking and try and create effective transitions, experimenting with different tools as well. And I then want to reflect on what went well and how I can apply my knowledge to future scenarios. So if you guys remember from last week, I had that robotic sound effect when trying to use the noise reduction tool with the kettle. And Adrian mentioned something called phasing and flanging, which I should look into. So I did a bit of research into this this week. I looked at the Adobe website, which was really helpful for me to understand the difference between the two. But I also looked at some YouTube videos. The only problem with the YouTube videos was that some of them were either 2013 or 2014, and I felt like the comments reflected this kind of like annoyance. They were kind of thankful for this one video because no one else had actually covered the problem before. So yeah, it was really helpful in terms of me being able to read the phase meter now as well as the phase analysis meter. But when I came to actually do the noise reduction and restoration and go on to automatic phase correction, unfortunately, it wouldn't actually let me click on it. And even after I'd actually captured the noise print and highlighted the section I wanted to correct, it still wouldn't let me do it. So hopefully I can do this next week. So, moving on to the research I conducted for masking, I looked at a blog by Sean Berry, which allowed me to understand where masking is used on Premiere Pro and different things that you can do. Like we know, it targets effects to a specific area of the clip, so you can cut something out or place something on top of the video or combine two clips, or as well, like I'm doing in this week's presentation, doing like transitional elements as well. I also wanted to look at it from a cinematography perspective. I looked at two creative compositional elements, masks and vignettes, in films, in particular Martin Scorsese films, as you can see here. Mask and vignettes are an alternate way of adding visual interest into your compositions. It softens the hard edges around a video clip, and it can make something seem more self-aware or playful, or adds like impending doom and things like that. The iris shot here is more commonly used as a transitional device, so obviously it pulls into a specific area, but it is considered to be a bit over the top. And the voyeur mask can suggest claustrophobia or like danger to a specific individual framed within the shot as well. So for my practical this week, I still wanted to kind of stick with the transitional elements and use text masking. I feel like maybe next week I can explore other directors like Martin Scorsese and create my own kind of cinematography masking in like a narrative sense. But for this week, I just want to stick with my original two that I set out to do. I used these four videos, as you can see, and the majority of them were made in 2020, so all relevant, all up to date, and I feel like they're really, really helpful. For my first attempt, I actually did this without even looking at any of the videos. I used my previous knowledge of the pencil and the keyframing to try and do it, but as you can see, it wasn't great. I feel like the keyframes need to be adjusted a bit more, as well as the feathering as well. Moving over to my second attempt, it worked a little bit better, but still wasn't great. One of the videos actually said to record the footage with the transitions in mind, and I feel like with this video I didn't. So then for my third attempt, I had this in the back of my head. I used the pen tool and outlined the tree for each frame. However, I did take into account what Adrian had mentioned previously, that you don't actually need to do this, and you can actually just place the keyframes on the last frame. And that's kind of like the beauty and the magic of masking, that it will do this. And as you can see, it worked really well. It looks really seamless. I then created text masking, so here's a quick time lapse of that, and this was the final product. The first bit where my name pops up, I had to use a YouTube video, but then I actually managed to do this second part here by myself, which I was really proud of. I then wanted to kind of explore additional or more creative ways to transition something. So I looked at this masking element. So I used the pen tool to go around the eye, and then once I was done, I used the scale keyframing and turned it all the way up so the mask would expand and allow the video underneath to play. It worked really, really well. It was actually quite simple to do, so it's something that I would definitely like to carry on doing in the future, especially for like vlogs or like other videos when I'm helping other people out with their grad projects. Finally, in reflection, I feel as though I was able to practically create a lot of effective content that covers a variety of masking techniques. However, I do feel like this only scratches the surface, so maybe next week I can look at deleting unwanted objects, combining certain clips, and also doing some cinematography masking as well. And I would say now I'm a 4 out of 10.